Gombe State Executive Council approved over 7 billion naira for housing, road and airport upgrade project in the state. Northeast governors agreed on establishment of regional shuttle airline projects. Landowners affected by cattle marks and abattoir project in the state to receive additional compensation assistance from the government. Hello viewers, thank you for joining us on 25 News Report. I am Fatima Dairukamo with the full details of the bulletin. We sincerely apologize for starting the news behind schedule. Hope you will bear with us. Gombe State Executive Council, chaired by Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, has approved several major infrastructure projects aimed at improving housing, road connectivity, water supply and aviation services across the state. Briefing journalists after the 51st Executive Council meeting, the Commissioner for Works, Housing and Transportation, Alhaji Usman Maijama Akalamu, said the Council approved 6 key submissions under his ministry. He disclosed that 520 home initiative housing units will be provided with 6.3 kilometers route network that will be extended to Tumpre at the cost of 7.93 billion. He also announced the extension of strategic roads, including from the Federal Medical Center to the Western Bypass.
To that Western Bypass, not mind of the beautiful houses that are around that area. But once we did it, I'm sure that will be more accessible and indeed even beautified place. So we extend now to extend it from Federal Medical Center to Western Bypass. Also, if you know where we call it Lion Speaker is just at that runabout of Tashanduk, that is near Damarna Filling Station, just by the western side, by the eastern side. The first road there is what we call Lion Speaker. If you take it, it was built since Bauchi State. So if you go straight, you want to the point that if you at the end of it, it will just turn a corner. So we now find that at least it's not supposed to be so. So from that place, if you take it, it will go straight. That house that is directly facing the road will be moved out, so that we move that major road. So it will be a T junction there from Kapsomata to the other road there at ATC. Also another one is from ATC to GSU. That road, if you go and see it now, there were people around that area are complaining about it because it's not easily accessible. So this time around, it's also going to be constructed. So in short, we have at least about 20.1 kilometer of roads added to these 2 projects as an additional work. And this one will cost about 26.7 billion naira.
He said the council also approved 202.6 million for the development of the permanent site for the Gombe Geographical Information System (GOGIS) at the Shehu Abubakar district. Haji Kalamu disclosed that the Gombe International Airport, which has not undergone major upgrade for over 20 years, will be upgraded at the cost of 669 billion 982,913,033. In a related story, Gombe State Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, Alhaji Muhammad Magaji, has disclosed that the 6 Northeast governors have agreed to establish a Northeast shuttle airline. Our correspondent, Halilu Muhammad Teli, has the details of this story.
According to him, each state will contribute 5 billion naira, totaling 30 billion naira for the purchase of 2 aircraft to operate within the region and connect to other parts of the country, assuring that Gombe State will pay its 5 billion naira share in January.
The 6 states have agreed to contribute the sum of 5 billion naira each, totaling 30 billion, for the purchase of 2 aircrafts that will be utilized for the Northeast Shuttle. There were two decisions: either you borrow $20 million to buy, or you all, pay 5 billion naira each. And the 6 governors have agreed to contribute to that sum. This Northeast Shuttle will be moving around, as I said, the 6 states and connecting to other parts of the country. It will open up the northeastern sub-region and ensure that we have, stable air, transport.
Briefing the media on the outcome of the meeting, the commissioner said the councillors also approved 321 million naira for the compensation to communities affected by the construction of an underpass and designated special development areas. He explained that following public complaints over compensation at the proposed livestock market, the initially approved 129 million naira was reviewed upward to 140.8 million naira, bringing total compensation to over 200 million naira. According to him, affected persons will receive a minimum of 50,000 naira and up to 200,000 naira, describing the gesture as a compassionate intervention by Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahya. He added that the council further approved the purchase of 26 operational and security Hilux vehicles for the new created 13 local government council areas at the cost of about 2.1 billion naira. On education matters, the Commissioner for Education, Dr. Aisha Tumekari, said
Council approved 50% and above as the number of the candidates that they are going to pay for, and 50% and above has 23,873 candidates, making 88% of those that have passed. Out of the 23,873%, which is 88% of the candidates who sat for the mock exams, 21,909 are indigents of Gombe State. And His Magnanimity, His Excellency also pays every year for the exchange students. So this year we have 183 exchange students from the 18 other northern states. The total sum of the payment is 661,557,121 naira only, to be shared between Gombe State government and the 11 local governments.
According to her, 23 students with special needs are also captured in the sponsorship exercise. For GMC News, Halil Muhammad Teli reporting.
The Gombe State government has approved the immediate payment of additional compassionate assistance to owners of undeveloped land affected by the construction of the International Cotton Market and modern abattoir at Joro Abari Ward along Gombe Potescum Road. This was disclosed in a press statement signed by the State Commissioner of Finance and the Chairman Gombe State Standing Committee on payment of compensation, Malam Muhammad Gambo Magaji, following a directive by the State Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahya. According to the statement, the approval is in recognition of the prevailing economic challenges and the vulnerability of many of the affected persons, including widows and other disadvantaged members of the society. The governor consequently approved an additional sum of 140,450,000 naira as special assistance to support the landowners. The message explained that the special assistance will be distributed across compensation categories, with the individual beneficiary receiving between 50 and 200,000 naira. A total of 745 persons are expected to benefit from the exercise. This is in addition to the earlier compensation payment of about 129,376,667 naira 7 kobo already released by the state government. The payment exercise is scheduled to commence on Thursday, 1st January 2026, and will run daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the new conference hall of the Civil Service Commission, Buba Shongo Quarters. The statement therefore advises all beneficiaries to attend the exercise with their original land ownership document, 2 recent passport, photographs, and a valid means of identification. The wife of the Minister of Transportation, Haja Zainab Sa'idu Ahmad Al-Kali, has paid a thank you visit to the Emir of Gombe, Alhaji Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, following her confirming with the traditional title Sodengin Gombe. Speaking at the Palace of District Head of Funakaye, Alhaji Yakubu Kwairanga described the conferment as a well-deserved honor, commending the Emir for recognizing a woman noted for her humanitarian services and support to vulnerable families across Gombe State. He said Haja Zainab Sa'idu Al-Kali's compassion for the masses and commitment to community development made her worthy of the title. Speaking on behalf of the Sa'idu Ahmad Al-Kali family, the Magajin Gari of Gombe, Alhaji Bala Magaji, thanks the Emir for the honor, assuring continuous support for New Sodengin Gombe in carrying out the responsibilities of the title. In her response, the newly turbaned Sodengin Gombe, Haja Hadiza Zainab Sa'idu Al-Kali, expressed gratitude to the Emir, describing the title as a call to greater service and responsibility that requires prayers and dedication. The ceremony attracted dignitaries, traditional rulers, and well-wishers from within and outside the Gombe State. In a colorful display of culture, unity, and support for community development, Fulani leaders and stakeholders from across Nigeria covered on Gombe State University as a renewed commitment was pledged toward livestock development and the preservation of Pulbe heritage. Correspondent Suleiman Musa Barambo complete the report.
The Minister of Transportation, Senator Sa'idu Ahmed Al-Kali, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to the sustenance and development of livestock production in Nigeria. Senator Sa'idu Al-Kali commended the federal government for the creation of Ministry of Livestock Development, describing livestock production as a critical pillar of the nation's economy and a major source of livelihood, especially for pastoral communities. He explained that the ministry will coordinate policies on animal husbandry, grazing management, veterinary services, and livestock marketing. In support of Prodeco's objectives, the minister announced a donation of 3 million naira to the organization. Earlier, the guest speaker, Alhaji Lamido Umar Chikairi Ajian Ako, stressed the importance of religious values, moral upbringing, and education, expressing concern over low level of enlightenment among Fulani communities and calling for sustained capacity building.
So en gettiri ɗum Allah hanjum waɗi keɓɗen jode jam e leddi Gombe.
In a keynote address, the national president of Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore, Dr. Abdullahi Bello Bobejo, represented by Alhaji Gidado Idris Bebeji, urged Fulani communities to embrace both Islamic and Western education and encourage members to obtain their permanent voter cards to participate actively in democracy. The Gombe State Chairman of Fudeco, Alhaji Sambo Saat Talbanduku, said the organization is committed to promoting and preserving Fulbe cultural values and heritage.
The socio-cultural organizations are Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, Miyetti Allah Kautal Hore.
At the launch of the appeal fund, the chief launcher, Dr. Bala Bello Tinker Point, donated 15 million naira, while other notable donations came from Alhaji Umar Kwairanga, an unannounced donor, Senator Bayeru Nafada, and other stakeholders. Traditional rulers, security chiefs, and political leaders at the event commended Prodeco for fostering unity and development among Fulani people. The well-attended event featured cultural display and attracted traditional rulers, government officials, and community members from within and outside Gombe State. For GMC News, Suleiman Musa Barambu reporting.
The Bojude community in Kwame local government area of Gombe State has commended the chairman of the council, Dr. Ahmed Waliduhu, for what he described as a notable developmental achievement recorded under his administration. The commendation was made during a courtesy visit to the chairman's office by members of the community, led by Engineer Muhammad Ibrahim Tafida, who is also the district head of Bojude. He said the community had benefited from several projects executed by the local government, describing them as a dividend of democracy. Engineer Tafida listed some of the projects to include the installation of a 500 kVA transformer and the renovation of a primary school at Bele, among other interventions, noting that the achievements informed the community's decision to formally express its appreciation. Also speaking, the chairman of Bojude Development Association, Alhaji Kabiru Abdullahi Bojude, said Dr. Ahmed Waliduhu was following the development-oriented policies of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya by prioritizing the needs of rural communities. In his response, the chairman of Kwame local government area, Dr. Ahmed Waliduhu, described the visit as a pleasant surprise and a symbol of renewed unity and cooperation between the community and the local government. He called on residents to continue supporting government effort to enable the execution of more developmental projects. The event attracted a large turnout of community members and well-wishers. The chairman of the local government area, Alhaji Adamu Muhammad Waziri, has commended staff of the council for their support and cooperation toward the success of his administration. A statement by the council information officer, Kabiru Muhammad Masu, indicated that the chairman made the commendation during a self-worth ceremony organized in honor of 5 retired staff from the Education and Social Development Department of the local government held at the Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya Hall, Duku. Haji Waziri asked staff of the council to continue working in unity and cooperation to ensure the effective implementation of the development projects at the grassroots level. In an address, the overseer and deputy head of the Education and Social Development Department, Ibrahim Lamua, emphasized the need for the staff to work as a united body, stressing that collective responsibility are essential for achieving sustainable grassroots development. Earlier, the head of the Education and Social Development Department, Funakai local government, Alhaji Buba Ardo Tongo, who also served as the chairman of the ESD Forum in Gombe State, alongside head of department from Akko, Kwami, and Balanga local government areas, said their participation in the event is aimed at strengthening mutual understanding and unity among the 11 local governments in the state. They prayed for the retired officers and advised newly appointed sectional heads to carry everyone along without discriminations. The retired officer honored at the ceremony are Muhammad Kabir Abdullahi, Muhammad Abdullahi Gardi, Usman Bello Shabewa, Muhammad Bello Babi, and Haruna Musa J. Kampada. The Gombe State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has continued to receive sympathizers from within and outside the journalism profession following the death of 7 of its members in a Patton road accident. The condolence visit took place at the Jalo Waziri House, where the NUJ, led by its national president, Comrade Al-Hassan Yahaya Abdullahi, received the Gombe Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. Samson Kaura, the Director General of Press Affairs, Borno State Government House, and the General Manager of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, from Bauchi, Yobe, Borno, and Birnin Kebbi. Speaking during the visit, the FRSCS Sector Commander, Mr. Samson Kaura, described the death of the 7 journalists as a great loss to the journalism profession and to the nation at large. He prayed for the reports of the souls of the deceased and for comfort for their families, the NTA and the entire pen professionals. Similarly, the general manager of NTA Bauchi Yobe and Birnin Kebbi expressed deep sorrow over the incident, described the deceased as a dedicated and active journalist who contributed significantly to the profession. They commiserated with the families and colleagues of the deceased, praying for Allah's forgiveness for their shortcoming and for the speedy recovery of those injured. The general manager of NTA Gombe, Alhaji Abubakar Adamu, who was an eyewitness to the accident, narrated how the incident occurred and thanked the visiting official for their show of solidarity with NUJ members. In his response, the national president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Comrade Alhassan Yahaya Abdullahi, described the loss of 7 journalists at once as a devastating, likening it to losing an entire community. He urged the families of the deceased and the NUJ members to remain steadfast and submit to the will of Almighty Allah. Comrade Yahaya appreciated the visitors and used the opportunity to encourage journalists in Gombe State to enroll in the NUJ insurance scheme to enable them benefit from death and sickness coverage.
Let me equally use this opportunity and appreciate the government of Gombe State for support for the operation. And let me equally put it in record. And after we were going around, we were able to get information that the government is supporting the family of those that lost their lives for 2 million each. The most community government and most appreciate government.
He also appealed to the Gombe State government to consider improving the remuneration of journalists while commending the FRSC Gombe Command for its prompt response during the incident. After the condolence visit, the NUJ leadership, alongside the visiting team, proceeded to the homes of the deceased journalists across the Gombe State capital and other locations in the state to further commiserate with their families. The member representing Balanga and Biliri Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Dr. Ali Isa JC, has donated a sum of 1 million naira to 4 victims of recent ghastly motor accident receiving treatment at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe. He also presented another 1 million naira to the families of the 7 journalists who died as a result of the accident, presenting the cash donation on behalf of the member, a one-time member also of the National House of Representatives, and a one-time commissioner in Gombe State, Yusuf Manuswa, extended the heartfelt sympathy of the Dr. Ali Isa JC, describing the incident as an act of God. Yusuf Manuswa further condoled the Nigerian Union of Journalists, the families of those who lost their lives in the crash, praying for quick recovery for those hospitalized. The member also distributed food items to the family of the deceased journalists at their residence. Those who received the donation on behalf of the deceased families expressed delight over the show of concern by Dr. Ali Isa JC, praying God Almighty to reward him in the act of kindness for humanity. The executive chairman of the Liberty TV, Dr. Amati Jani Ramalan, alongside the management and staff of the station, has expressed deep sorrow over the death of journalists of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Gombe, who lost their lives in the Fata Road accident. In a condolence message issued on Tuesday, Liberty TV said it received the news with profound shock, describing the incident as a painful loss to the media industry and the state at large. The management and board of Liberty TVR, while submitting to the will of God, mourned the late journalists, commending them as dedicated professionals who died in the line of duty. Liberty TVR prayed Allah to forgive their shortcomings and grant them eternal resting and Jannatul Firdaus, while also asking for comfort and strength for their families, colleagues, and loved ones. The organization extended its condolences to the Director General of the NTA, leadership and members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, the Radio, Television, Theatre, Art Workers Union of Nigeria, RETAU, Gombe State Council, and the entire media. It also prayed for the quick recovery of journalists who sustained injuries and are currently receiving medical treatment. With this sad note, we come to the end of the news, but before I go, quick recap some of the major stories that make the headlines. You heard that Gombe State Executive Council has approved over 7 billion naira for housing, road and airport upgrade projects in the state. This was the review by the State Commissioner for Works, Housing and Transportation, while briefing newsmen shortly after the 51st Executive Council meeting chaired by Governor Muhammadu Yahaya. We also brought to you a report that the Northeast governors have agreed to establish a regional shuttle airline. It said to contribute 5 billion naira, totaling 30 billion naira for the purchase of 2 aircraft to operate it with in the region. And finally, landowners affected by cattle market and abattoir projects in the state will receive additional compensation assistance from the government. A statement by the Gombe State Minister of Finance indicated that the additional compensation is in recognition of the prevailing economic challenges and the vulnerability of the affected person. And that has been the news. Thanks for watching and good night.